It's time for another tale from the Glass-Guarded World, with Brian as Paxton the Human Cleric and Fighter, Danielle as Athelflaed the Halfling Rogue and Monk, Ashley as Tara Dane the Human Fighter, Chris as Aster Fortuna the Half-Elf Rogue and Bard, and me, Mike, as the DM. I'll keep this brief because there's a recap at the beginning of the episode. Please remember that we're nearing the end of Season 1. Once the season ends, we'll have an out-of-game recap episode, and then we're going on hiatus for a while. I need some time to do some writing and planning, but we might release a one-shot game, some music, or other stuff during the break. Let's get right back to the adventures on that boat, headed for the island of Arrival.
Last time, you had talked to Mun, and he decided that he definitely could not advise you to go break the soul jar, and that it was definitely a bad idea, which you guys took to mean that you should definitely go break the soul jar. And you decided that you were going to do that, which meant heading toward Arrival. And you got on a military ship. It is a pretty quick bireme, captained by Captain Doniger. You leave the port of Luton Haven. The crew is a large number of rowers and about 30 other crewmen and marines on board. There's also an official ship's wizard. The first couple days of sailing are pretty straightforward. There's not a lot going on board the ship. The horses are fine. Your cart is on board as well. Tara and I think Athelflaed, I think you guys paid not to do any work.
I didn't.
Oh, Athelflaed offered to do work? Okay, yeah. All right. So Tara paid not to do any work, and everyone else is chipping in on board. So the crew is about 160 people, of which about up to 120 can row, and the rest are Marines and other crew. And as you're sailing, 3 more ships full of soldiers eventually join up with you as the wind pushes you quickly toward the island at the middle of the world. And as the warship approaches Arrival, Tara and Aster, you can tell before anyone else that something is off. Something's strange. In fact, the ship's lookout spots it too. First, you can see smoke rising in the air, and then you can see that there are ships surrounding the island in the distance. And they're concentrated around the harbor areas. And as you guys notice this, a lookout sounds an alarm as well, and Captain Doniger sounds general quarters. And the crew pulls down the sails and reports to oars and artillery. The ship is armed with a ballista and a catapult, as well as a ram on the front.
Can I try and see if I can see any? Like, does anyone have something that I can snatch from them to see?
Nobody has a spyglass, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
And it's not visible from this distance, like any markings on the ships?
Paxton, you think you see a sail. It's hard to make out the colors, but you think you might see a flag with some sort of dark dot in the middle. From this distance, it's hard to tell.
Oh, I mentioned that I think I see, like, a dark dot on the sail, and I ask one of the Marines or the sailors, like, if that means anything to them, if they are familiar with that symbol.
Yeah, the captain actually says, yeah, it looks like we're too late. I wasn't expecting Iron Empire ships, but they're probably not here to make friends. I have a crew full of soldiers and war wizards who volunteered to help defend Arrival in the unlikely event of attack. They're going to want to punch through that blockade and get on shore. Is that all right? You're civilians. I don't want to involve you.
You're the expert.
Yeah, we're going to be in the middle of a fight anyway.
Yeah.
Very well. On the other hand, there's an alternative. We could wait for the sun to dim and try to sneak by under the cover of night. Our ship's wizard, Esgrimme, has a powerful illusion spell that could be used to disguise the front of the ship. Once we get close enough, they might spot the sides of the ship, even if it's night. At that point, we'll have to make a run for the docks, and I hope that the island artillery could keep their ships at bay. I am, of course, open to other suggestions if you have them.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. Do you have any idea why the Iron Empire is attacking Arrival?
Well, they don't appear to be attacking, actually. It looks like they're sitting offshore, which means Possibly they're trying to blockade the island to keep them from helping someone else. So perhaps, for example, they're attacking the Great Forest and trying to keep a rival from getting involved.
Does a rival have political alliances with any of the great cities or the major areas?
Not really. They tend to stay neutral, but there might be people who independently of the island itself might take action. There may be other warships from other places here that could be kept trapped on the island and unable to help.
Interesting.
I have a question, not necessarily for him, but what's the smoke coming from? Can we tell that?
It looks like it's coming from these ships.
Like maybe they fired cannons or...
Oh, there are no cannons, but yeah, these ships seem to be belching out smoke for some reason.
I asked the captain what the smoke is, what's causing the smoke.
Well, I've heard that these Imperial ships can be powered by some sort of a reaction, some sort of burning of fuel. They don't always rely on wind. So I suppose that must be a result of their whatever is powering them, whatever propulsion they use.
So both of them?
Hmm?
So both of them are up in flames? I mean, it's not an accident.
Just the Iron Empire ships
Yeah.
are like...
They're basically steamships.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and they're belching out smoke and there aren't just both of them. There's a lot of them.
All right.
But they have smoke and sails.
They can use sails. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have to use smoke all the time. But if the thing is, the wind always blows toward the middle of the world. So if you want to go that direction, you use sails. If you want to go a different direction, you need to find some other way to get propulsion.
That makes sense.
He says, "Well, the other ships with us could also try to sneak by. The good news is that if one of them is spotted, that increases our odds of sneaking by, as the enemy ships will be drawn away. Of course, the bad news is those poor chaps aren't likely to make it. If stealth fails, there are some things you ought to know. Are you any good in a fight? You've got some pretty heavy armor there.
Hand to hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, we know our way
We're
around
pretty
the
scrappy.
maze.
Yeah,
We'll-
we'll get back.
We'll be within fireball range at about 150 feet.
I don't know about that.
Oh, bad luck with fireballs.
Counterspell's range is only 60 feet, so our war wizards can't do anything to stop fireballs, and neither can theirs. We've tried to harden our ship against fire, and we have a fire crew ready, but if we're hit hard enough, the ship will go down. At that point, it's everyone for themselves. There's a single skiff stowed at the back of the ship, but that's obviously not enough to get everyone out. And if the ship goes down, there'll be a mad scramble to get to it. My advice would be to try swimming instead. Except for that very heavy armor, that's not going to work.
In the water, though, do they have any spottings of those gelatinous creatures from the original, like,
Oh, the blobs?
Yeah,
no.
the blobs.
No, those have not been spotted in the sea.
Okay.
Any other preparations anyone wants to take? Any action anyone wants to take in advance of trying to sneak past these ships at night?
I say go with the experts.
Yeah, I've been trying to look at, can I use some spells to do something? But I'm like, no, these are more for like stealthing missions.
Yeah. If they're not actively attacking the island, I'm a lot less worried. So just getting on safely is...
Okay. I mean, you can, if there's anything you can do to help, like if you can cast a spell that provides aid of some kind, or if there's other kinds of helping actions you could take to help the crew, then you're welcome to do that.
I can try to heal anyone who gets hurt, and I can bless any gunners.
I can
Okay.
roll for giving people heroism with the Guitar of the Bazaar.
Okay. Well, Paxton, you also have the spell Guidance, right? Which provides exactly that kind of aid. And Aster, you can provide Bardic Inspiration as well. So you guys have abilities. Don't be afraid to use them. You can also take the assist action, right? Which in some cases can give people advantage on rolls, depending on whether your help would be useful or not. So you're going to try to sneak past. The wizard is casting the spell Major Image, and it covers the front of the boat in sort of an illusionary wall that appears to be waves and sky. And the lookouts on the other boats must make opposing passive perception checks to defeat the spell DC. Is anyone doing anything in particular other than trying to be quiet and not visible?
Is the wizard that's going to cast a spell gonna roll an opposed roll, like you're gonna make the roll for him?
Well, it's actually, in this case, it's just spell DC, which is
Oh, so it's just him.
spell DC versus their passive perception.
Got it.
Yeah. So you guys are going to just try to be quiet like everyone else. All right.
Get ready to defend ourselves
Yeah.
if we need to.
So everyone goes down below decks, basically, except for this wizard and someone to man the helm. The boat quietly moves forward. You succeed, actually, in getting all the way up next to these ships. Now, the problem is that this illusion only covers the front of the boat, or it could cover one side or the other of the boat, but it's not big enough to cover the boat on all sides. So once you reach these boats, these enemy boats, these Imperial boats, they're going to spot you. And then it's a question of whether you can get away faster than they can pursue you. So as your ship begins to pass the Imperial ships, lights suddenly appear on them, and you can hear shouting. And two of the ships begin to change course, and they're belching smoke faster. And you can see on the back of them are these big paddle wheels, and they're pursuing you. And the captain says, "Right, they're on to us. Full speed ahead. We've got to get to those docks."
Are we using wind, or are they manning oars or anything right now?
Yes, actually, everyone has manned the oars, and they are starting to row. And that's why he issued the full speed ahead order.
I'll assist if I can.
Yeah.
All right.
Same.
Yeah.
You guys want to man some oars?
Mhm.
All right.
We've done this before.
Just about the same moment, you can see large blossoms of fire up to the north as one of the other ships in your group has apparently been spotted trying to sneak through as well, and a battle has apparently erupted there. All right, so you man the oars, and the other ships begin pursuing you. So let's see here. I'll let one of you guys roll for how well your rowing goes, and I'll give you guys advantage on the roll since you're all helping out.
Would
So-
that be a strength check?
I'll just roll a d20 and I'll add a number to it and tell you, actually 2 d20s, tell me the higher one and I'll add a number to it and let you know what happens.
10.
That's the higher number?
Mhm.
Okay. They are currently catching up. The enemy ships are catching up. We're going to do best 2 out of 3 here. Go ahead and roll again.
Who wants to take this one? 11.
All right, currently you are keeping ahead of them, but just barely.
You want to take?
Go for it.
Oh boy.
No pressure.
And it's still with advantage, right?
That's right.
11.
They are catching up, and it looks like they're going to pull up alongside you. You're getting pretty close to the island, but they are going to catch up.
How close is their ship to ours?
They are currently about 200 feet away.
Oh, okay.
200. It's good to know.
It's night, so it's kind of hard to see these ships, but you can hear the splashing of their paddle wheel. The captain orders all the crew to stay below decks in case a fireball hits their ship. I assume you're also staying below deck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that episode.
The Imperial ships are closing in on your ship. Your ship is called the Hreth, by the way. One is on the starboard or right side, one's on the larboard or port or left side. The captain orders all non-essential crew below decks, but nothing happens as the distance closes 190, 180, 170 feet. Eventually you reach 150 feet, and the captain has his war wizard ready to cast a fireball, but nothing flies back in your direction. No fireballs fly toward your ship.
Are can we see any people on the deck looking at
No.
us or moving around?
You don't see anyone on the deck.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
But something has been powering it toward us.
That's right. It's belching out smoke, and there's this paddle wheel in the back of it. And the captain says, that is curious. Egagrisma, that's his wizard's name. Egagrisma, send a fireball at the starboard vessel, and let's see what happens. And the war wizard casts a spell, and this little dot of flame goes sailing toward the ship to your south, and it explodes across it, illuminating the ship and the water. It reflects strangely off of the ship's hull, though. You can see there's this huge paddle wheel at the back. It's spinning and churning up the water. But the captain says, that's interesting. The whole ship appears to be covered in metal. It's amazing they can move it at all. I think they're determined to take our ship intact. It's not good news. But the fireball doesn't seem to do anything. Nothing catches fire. And again, in the illumination, you don't see anyone on the deck of this ship.
Did we see a big open smokestack or anything like that the smoke is coming from?
Yeah, there is sort of a chimney toward the middle back of the ship. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
And how far away is the ship now?
Now it's about 140 feet.
Okay.
And the captain says, all right, let's try this. Artillery, release your missiles at will. And the 2 artillery teams rush up onto the deck, and they turn their wooden weapons toward the southern ship, and they take some shots. The catapult manages to throw a stone sphere at the ship, and it just makes a loud ping sound and just bounces off.
Yeah, steel exists in this world. What am I talking about?
They are the Iron Empire.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we probably shouldn't attack this ship anymore. We should prioritize any spells to try to make the ship move faster. We're not gonna make a breach in the hull of the ship, I don't think.
The captain says, yeah, that looks right to me, but I don't have any ideas. And I mean, I suppose we could put the sail back up and try a gust of wind, but normally the oars are faster than the wind, the gust of wind spell. So, anyone have any ideas?
Aster, sing him a song.
And get him inspired.
I could
I
try
have a
to.
war pick. I'm just like,
Let's see. I could. What is
You're at
heroism?
120 feet.
If we were within 30 feet, I'd have a little something special that I could give to them, but as of right now, they're way too far away.
110 feet.
if they try to
Yeah.
board us, I'm good.
Yep.
Can I play like a melody on the guitar of the bazaar
Sure.
and give heroism to the captain?
Okay.
Because it'll protect him and he shouldn't be afraid anymore. And maybe that will clear up his mind. Maybe.
Okay. He doesn't seem afraid. He seems like a pretty experienced guy, but this is not something he's experienced before. But you can play a song of heroism for him. You have to make your performance check.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna work. That's 18 plus 9 plus what I get for the guitar.
Wow. Yes, you play an inspiring song of heroism. Anything in particular that you're playing?
Well, it doesn't have to be a song. It could be like, if it's the guitar, maybe like battle guitar music, like.
Ah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Okay.
Maybe the Terminator song.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. I'll figure something out then. Well, your ship continues pushing forward. The enemy ships get within 100 feet, and when that happens, hatches open up on top of the ships, and 2 crews of people run out on each ship, and they pull open another hatch, and they pull some ballistas up onto the deck.
Oh.
These crews look like they're made up of dwarves and orcs, and they pull these ballistas up, and they're going to shoot. And one of them hits the side of your ship. Oh, actually, that was one of the boats. What about the other boat? They hit also. Oh, actually, they hit with both of them. So 3 ballistas crash into the side of your ship, but they've got ropes attached to them. And they begin cranking on these ropes, and they go tight. Now, one ballista missed, and they're basically cranking it back in.
I have a question. How far from arrival are we?
You're still probably a few miles away.
Okay.
This is bad.
Yeah, this isn't good.
So they're slowly cranking in these bolts, which is slowing your ship down. Because now, in order to continue forward movement, you're basically going to be towing their ships. And they're getting closer and closer. Does anyone want to do anything?
I want to fire my firebolt spell at the ropes and see if I can burn them away.
All right, take a shot.
It's a 12.
That is a hit. Roll your damage.
17.
17. Oh, goodness. All right. The firebolt singes the rope, and it quickly burns and snaps under the pressure. And there's still a bolt sticking into the side of your ship, but the rope is just hanging loose. Do you want to do that on the side that has 2 bolts or on the side that has only 1?
Well, I mean, can I get both bolts with one shot, or
No, I mean,
okay.
they're on different parts in your ship.
Yeah.
So one side has 1 rope attached to a bolt, the other side has 2 ropes attached with bolts.
I suppose I'll do it on the 1 bolt side
Okay.
and then run over to the area where
All right.
the 2 bolts are like equidistant between them.
Sure. Take 2 more shots, and let's see if you can break this before they get close enough.
All right. Crit fail.
Guess I should get my critical failure table ready.
I should always have that ready with us.
Yeah. All right, you want to roll percentile?
Sure.
Some of these are
I
just
mean,
not
I
gonna...
don't, but
Okay.
I will.
I could roll if you'd rather.
94.
Maybe you can drop your weapon. Which I guess is your
Oh,
hand. I don't
okay,
know.
this is going to be interesting. All right, it doesn't actually make any sense.
As long as I don't burn down my own ship, I'm fine.
I get ready to take off my armor and swim.
All right. Well, you do hit your ship, but near the water line, and it doesn't actually end up doing any real serious damage. The fire is almost instantly put out.
I look back at the captain and I give him like a "I'm so sorry" look.
He couldn't actually see what you were doing, so he
I have
didn't
a
notice.
question.
Yes.
Is there any way that I, without spells, can reach? Like, is there a
Yes.
porthole or something around the
You
ropes?
could climb out over on the side of the boat and stand on one of these bolts and try to cut the rope, or you could throw something at it.
How thick is this rope? I mean,
It's pretty thick. These
Yeah,
are
'cause
nautical ropes.
okay, so I'm not able to take a dagger.
You
'cause
could take a
it's-
dagger and saw through it.
But
Okay.
it would be like I have to jump on the bolt to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you can't reach it from where you are.
Well, I have pretty good acrobatics. I can try that too.
Okay. There's 2 of them, right?
There's 2 of them left, and the
Okay.
ship is getting closer. It's
I-
now 70 feet away.
I will jump on one of the bolts.
Okay,
All right.
I'll jump on the
Make an
other.
acrobatics check.
Can't we do athletics?
No.
It's an 8.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean you're clinging onto the side of the ship, but you can't get a good enough position to attack it. But you haven't fallen off. Athelflaed, do you want to do the same thing?
Yeah. 16.
16. You successfully land on the bolt, and you're sort of balancing on it. So if you want, attack the rope. So make an attack roll and add your attack bonus, which, if I remember correctly, is +9 with your dagger.
Yep.
And Egbert says, we're just getting a rope? This is no fun. What are we doing?
21.
21 to hit?
Plus
okay.
9, yeah.
Wow, cool. All right. You have hit it. Roll your damage. Athelflaed begins sawing through the rope.
9.
9 damage to the rope. The rope is almost cut through, but not quite.
Okay.
And he says, keep going, we're almost there.
Do I have to wait turn to keep going? or-
Yeah, you have to wait another turn. Paxton, did you want to do anything else?
Let's see.
Or actually, Aster, did you want to do anything? I haven't asked you.
Is she dangling from the?
She's sort of dangling from the side of the ship, trying to get her balance on this bolt, this
Can I-
harpoon.
Can I try to get her onto the?
If
the
she
bolt?
wants to be... you want to help her?
help her get
Okay,
back
on her
onto-
next acrobatics check, you could provide her assistance, and she would get advantage. Yeah.
Okay.
Paxton.
Since I think Athelflaed is probably going to be able to cut the remaining thread on that rope on her next turn, I'm
Mhm.
gonna shoot for the one that's still full strength.
All right, make an attack roll.
17.
That is a hit. Roll your damage.
Right. It'll be 13.
13 destroys that rope. So Tara, the rope that you were attempting to cut, Paxton just severed it with a firebolt.
Okay, yeah.
I blow the smoke off my finger gun.
So on my turn, can I just?
Yeah, you can
her
help.
Get back
You can
onto
help
the
Tara
boat?
climb back on. That's
Okay.
fine, unless she wants to hang out in the bolt. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she wants to.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna try and climb back on.
Okay. All right. Good.
And is that still? Can that be athletics now? Or?
To simply climb back on with Aster assisting you, you don't need to make a check. It's
Oh,
fine. You
okay.
succeed.
Can I do something else?
Sure.
I'm gonna tell Aster that I'm gonna tie a rope around myself because I assume they're gonna do this again. And jumping off the side of the ship with a bunch of heavy armor is probably not a great idea. So I should probably get some help.
Okay.
All right. Make a survival check.
13.
All right. You successfully tie a rope with what you think is a pretty good knot around yourself.
I asked Aster to check it.
Looks okay.
Oh, it doesn't look okay. Okay.
Aster, it looks good to you.
Oh
Um,
no.
And Athelflaed, you want to attack this rope one more
Yep.
time? Make an acrobatics check one more time. Continue maintaining your balance on this.
12.
12 is good enough. You're managing to hang on to the side of the boat and balance on this harpoon.
Okay.
Now make an attack roll.
Plus 9, well, 27.
Jeez. Yeah, you easily cut through the remainder of the rope, but you don't need to roll damage. The rope is severed.
Okay.
And so all the bolts have been cut away from the ship. The crews of the other ships, you can barely hear them shouting over the wind, saying unkind things to you.
My feelings.
They're pulling the ropes back in. As the ropes are pulled back in and your ship leaps forward again as the crew is able to row freely, you can see that some of the hatches on these ships open again, and a bunch of orcs climb out onto the deck.
What?
And Yeah, a bunch of orcs climb up onto the deck, and they're looking around, and they gesture at the ropes and the ballistas, and they climb back below the deck.
How close is the boat? Still far away?
They're about 50 feet away now.
Ooh, getting close.
I know. I'm waiting for them to get close.
Now, you guys are pretty much the only people on the deck. You, the ballista crew, the captain, and the war wizard are the only people on the deck of your ship. Everybody else is below decks.
Are those ballistas wooden or also metallic?
The ones on the other ship,
Yes.
they're a mix of wood and metal. Parts of it to function properly it works best if it's wood, but they're mostly metal. All right. Well, they're still pulling in their ropes, but they're getting closer. 40 feet. Anyone want to do anything?
Can I pop off some fire bolts at whatever ballista looks like it's being loaded?
Sure. They can't load them until they get the ropes pulled in all the way, which takes a bit of effort. But you can take a shot at a ballista. Sure, take a shot.
It is a 10.
It sort of glances off of the metal of the ballista.
That was just a warning shot.
Okay, good. All right. I already said 40 feet, right? 30 feet. Anyone want to do anything?
Yeah, I want to try something at 30 feet.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Okay, so I'm going to focus on the smokestack,
Okay.
and I'm going to use create or destroy water to make it rain right in the center of the smokestack,
Okay.
thinking that if they're burning things, water's going to run down the smokestack and put out their engine.
And which ship? The one to your north or to your south?
They're both within 30 feet?
Yeah.
Which one looks like it's more of a threat, like has more ballistas?
They're the same. They're
The
basically
same?
identical ships.
I'll go with the one that attacked us on the side that only got one hit.
Okay.
Because they have one ballista that still has a thing attached, so they're probably a bigger threat.
Sure. Good thinking. Make your attack roll. Oh no. Did you make an attack? No, it's just it just succeeds, right?
I think so.
All right.
I can look it up real quick.
What's your spell save DC?
Spell save DC is 14.
All right. So they're what they're going to try to do is do an engineering check to overcome your spell save DC and see if they can keep it from putting out the boiler's fire. The ship sort of sputters a bit. You can see smoke comes out in spurts, and it slows down a little, but it hasn't put the fire completely out. It is falling a little bit behind you now. The other ship's still keeping up.
Okay.
And you can hear some of the people below the below decks cheer as they can see the ship out the sides falling away. And
Can the war wizard do the same thing?
the war wizard does not have create or destroy water. Sorry.
Me neither.
Yeah.
The captain's just encouraging the crew to keep moving. They are reloading the ballista on the ship to the south. The other ship is falling away too quickly to be able to fire again.
When you say that, how many?
How many ballistas?
No, how many? How many?
There are
individuals?
about 8 people on the deck of the other ship,
Oh, there is people on the ship now.
but they're all crowded around this ballista.
I mean,
These 2 ballistas.
at this point, I mean, do I just start taking crossbow shots because I'm within range?
You could. Yeah, they've got partial cover because they're behind this ballista.
What
Yeah.
about if I pull out the rapier and you shatter on the group? They're all clustered together.
You
right?
could do that. It would also probably harm the catapult itself, or the ballista itself.
I'm going to shatter them
All right. They have to save, right? What's the range of shatter?
60 feet.
Ah,
I just
all right.
didn't know there was 8 people on the deck.
Yeah, there are
I
4
thought
people around one ballista and 4 around the other, and they need to make a saving throw. What's your DC?
It is going to be a DC of 15.
All right. What kind? Constitution.
Yeah, it's Constitution.
Constitution DC 14?
15.
15. All right. All right. 2 saved and 2 failed. And then the ballista. Okay. So roll your damage.
Ooh, that is 13 damage, I believe.
All right. So 2 of them are knocked flat but quickly get back up. The other 2 don't appear badly hurt. The ballista creaks a bit, but is still standing there. And they get back to work on. It delays them a little bit before they can reload to fire. But they are affixing new bolts to these ropes, and they're getting ready to fire again.
I'm gonna take a crossbow shot.
All right, take a crossbow shot.
Nat 20.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Shooting at one of the guys that just got injured by shatter, or one of the guys on the other catapult? Ballista.
The uninjured.
Uninjured. All right. The uninjured ballista crew.
That's 8. That's 2, so 10 plus my crossbow's 1. So
11 damage.
Uh-huh. And I have extra attack.
Ah.
So I'm gonna
Take
do it
another
again.
shot.
Yeah.
All right, that didn't take that guy down though.
Okay.
But it injured him.
It did
Where
injure
he
him
can't
for
do
sure.
anything,
One guy
right?
cries out, one orc cries out in pain.
This time I got a 7.
7 does not hit.
Okay.
He was ready for that one. And it is. Let's see. They're not taking any shots at you. They're just loading. Anyone else want to do anything before they shoot again?
I'll try with a crossbow too.
All right.
So 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12 doesn't hit.
Okay.
Anyone else want to do anything?
How does the ballista look that got hit with shatter?
It looks slightly warped, but it's still functional. They're going to take a couple more shots. One of them sails short and crashes into the water, and they start winding it back in. The other one strikes into the side of your boat. It now has 3 ballista bolts sticking out of that side of the boat, although only one of them has a rope attached.
And how far away are they? this
They
point?
are now just 20 feet away, and they're getting ready. They're probably going to board.
Probably not enough time for me to jump on and start.
You could try.
I'll go ahead and try.
All right. Go ahead and make an athletics check. I mean, acrobatics check.
12%,
Yep.
22.
Yep, you're excellent. You're well planted on that bolt. You're not even
Okay.
holding onto the ship this time. You're just balancing on it like.
All right, I start cutting.
All right, make an attack roll. Egbert says ropes again.
Mm-hmm. 18,
That's the hit.
27.
You cut into the rope.
8.
8 points of damage. You're almost through this rope, but not quite.
Okay.
And the ship is now right next to your ship. It's only 10 feet away. You could jump from one ship to the other if you were brave. Their ship is slightly taller than yours.
I also gonna just do the crossbow thing again.
Okay, you want to shoot at another one of them? Go ahead.
This one is a 19.
That is a hit. Hitting the same guy.
Yeah. This time the damage is 7.
That orc goes down, crying out, "Ah!"
Okay, I'm doing it again. With his partner this time.
All right, one of the other there are 4 injured orcs and then 3 uninjured orcs.
I guess I'll go with one of the injured ones.
Okay,
Whoever looks the worst off. This time it was 19. So
that's
it's
a
my
hit
turn.
again.
And the damage is 8.
Shoot him right through the head. He just goes straight down, doesn't even cry out.
That's one of the
Flat on the deck.
injured ones or uninjured ones?
One of the injured ones. So there are 3 injured orcs and 3 uninjured orcs left on the deck with the ballistas.
I cry out, well, we're civilians. Persuasion.
They look confused. Paxton, did you want to do anything?
That rope is almost cut.
Yeah.
It's almost cut, but they're almost here. And
Yeah.
then there's how many other ropes?
There are no other ropes attached right now, just the
Oh.
one.
Okay, then I'm gonna shoot a firebolt at that rope.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
That is 19.
That's a hit. Your minimum damage is going to break through it. It only has 2 hit points left. So yeah, you break through the rope. Athelflad, you're going to climb back on the ship.
Mhm.
Aster, do you want to do anything?
Yes. They're all pretty injured, or they're uninjured?
There are 2 of them that are mildly injured and 3 that are uninjured.
Can I hit one of the?
Oh, I'm sorry, and there's 1 that is badly injured.
Can I hit one of the ones that are mildly injured with dissonant whispers?
Sure.
So
They need to make a saving throw.
yes, it's attack save. Wisdom 15 again.
It does not save.
Okay, so it will take 7 damage.
7 for
Mhm.
one of the ones that's mildly injured.
Mhm.
One of the orcs clutches her head and says, "Ah, get out of my head!" Ah." Looks like she's in some pain. They are now within melee range, so here's what happens. They've pulled up, so they're right next to your ship. And the oarsmen on that side pull their oars inside the ship, and the captain shouts out, "Prepare for boarding!" And from the enemy ship, a bunch of those hatches open up again on top of the ship. And orcs are climbing out of the ship onto the
Oh.
top deck.
Uh,
And they are about to jump onto your ship. And the again, the oars are pulled in on that side so they don't get broken. A bunch of Marines climb up onto the deck of your ship. We're going to have to go into regular initiative here.
How many?
On each side,
Yeah, how many people are boarding us?
you've got 20 Marines and 20 orcs.
The 20 orcs, including the ones that were
Not including the ones that are on the ballistas.
And what is our captain saying?
He just told the crew to prepare to be boarded.
Okay, so what is the crew doing? Do we know?
Well, you know that a bunch of soldiers just ran up onto the deck and prepared to fight, but Other than that, you don't know what they do to prepare to be boarded.
Okay.
Everybody else is staying below deck. Let's roll for initiative. They rolled very badly. Our allies rolled pretty well. Paxton, what did you get?
16.
Tara?
Nat 20.
Ooh. You get to add your bonuses, though, even if it's a natural 20. What's your dexterity bonus?
Yeah, 1.
So 21. Athelflaed?
21.
We'll let Athelflaed go first because her dexterity is higher. Aster?
7.
7. We have Athelflaed going first. Athelflaed, what would you like to do?
What am I faced with exactly? Like, what's right in front of me?
So right in front of you, you're on the deck. You can be wherever you want to be on the deck, but there are a group of 20 orcs that look like they're about to charge onto your ship, and then there are 6 more orcs, 3 of whom are injured, who are up on the enemy ship with the ballista. Both crews are getting ready to reload their ballistas and start firing them at people on the deck.
Well,
And then you've also got 20 friendly marines who are charging up onto your deck, preparing to defend the ship.
Well, quick question. We just severed their ballista.
Right.
So doesn't it take a turn for them to reload? Like, they're not going to fire another ballista at us this turn, right?
No, actually, no, not this turn. They're going to have to reload.
Okay.
But they actually have just given up on the rope part. They're just firing the bolts, right? So they don't have to wind the rope back in. They're just going to fire bolts at you guys. But it does take a turn to reload.
So there's nothing connecting the two ships. They're just
That's
close
right.
enough to jump.
That's right.
Okay.
Wow.
so how far am I away feet-wise from the first?
From the lead orc, you're maybe 15, 20 feet away.
I guess I could take a shot with
Sure.
my crossbow.
Sure.
Okay. 16 to 7, so 23.
That is a hit. The first orc is leading the charge, and a crossbow bolt hits him pretty hard.
8.
All right. You hit him in the shoulder. He's rocked backwards by this solid hit. Tara, it's your turn.
I'm gonna continue to focus on the guys loading the ballistas.
You take a shot.
How many people does it take to load that?
It takes at least 3 people.
And there are 3 people.
And there are 3 people on one of them and 3 people on the other. And on one of the ballistas, they're all injured.
I'm gonna go for one of the injured guys.
Okay.
So at least take one out. That is a 16 to hit,
That is definitely a hit.
and that's 6 damage.
He's hit in the leg and he falls to the deck screaming.
Okay.
He's out.
And so now I'm gonna go to the other ballista where there's 3 people
Mm-hmm.
and fire at one of them. If any of them look injured, I'm picking
None
that
of them
one.
are injured.
Okay, just picking whoever.
Okay.
And that is a 18 to hit
That's a hit.
and 8 damage.
All right. One of the orcs takes a crossbow in his arm and he pulls it out and throws it on the deck. He takes a crossbow bolt, not a crossbow. That would be weird. The friendly soldiers, it's their turn, the Marines, and they all line up on the deck with their light armor and their shields and short swords, and they are all going to basically ready in action. So whenever anyone gets into range, they're going to attack. Right? So they all line up on the deck preparing to defend, and so they're not going right now. They're readying until someone gets into range to attack. And they're all lining up in front of all of you unless one of you wants them not to.
Wait, no, I don't want him to line up in front of me.
No? So you want to step in front of them.
Like can I be with them? Like
You want to be in line with them?
in line with them.
Okay, you can be in line with them. They'll let you squeeze into their line. The captain pulls out a crossbow and takes a couple shots of his own. And he hits one of the ballista orcs, and he takes down the one that you just injured, Tara. And he also takes down another orc on the other crossbow. So now ballista. One ballista has only 1 orc left on it, which means it's basically useless. And the other ballista has only 2 orcs on it, which also means it is basically useless.
I cheer at the captain.
Yay!
And now it's your turn, Paxton.
Okay, so there are currently no enemies aboard our ship, right?
Not yet. They're
Okay.
they're
about to jump.
They're about to jump. The next person to go after you is your friendly wizard, and then Aster, and then them.
Okay, I'm going to create or destroy water again right over their chimney and hope that I can stop their ship from moving forward.
All right. And the DC on that was on your what's your just general spell save DC?
14.
14. Their ship begins belching smoke in a halting pattern and begins to slow down. They will have a chance this round to jump on, but after that, their ship's going to fall behind.
Okay.
It is your friendly wizard's turn. You're lucky that your wizard got to go first, because your wizard is about to cast Fireball, and that means these orcs need to make a spell save DC. I'm just going to do it for groups of 5. Okay, they take damage, 8d6.
Ooh. Oh my god.
Fireball is really overpowered in
Yeah.
5th edition.
Yeah, we know.
All right, here we go. All right, the fireball hits this group of orcs, and 10 of them just instantly go down. 10 of them are instantly on the deck in flames, writhing around, and the other 10 are pretty badly hurt, but they're still about to charge. That makes it Aster's turn.
Okay. Nobody's jumped onto them.
Not yet.
Darn it. Okay, well then I'm going to use the Guitar of the Bazaar again,
Okay,
and use Hideous Laughter.
okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
It affects one target.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I need to make a... I can't do that.
Oh,
I
you need to make a
a-
performance check.
Let's see. I need to beat a 15, I think,
I
right?
think that's right.
I don't think I... No, I just hit 15. What is that? Does
Yep,
that...
DC
beat it?
15, that's what you need to hit.
Whew, I almost failed.
Oh boy. So Aster tries his best to play a hilarious song on his guitar. It didn't come out quite the way he wanted. They need to make a saving throw. DC.
Wisdom 14 save.
The orc fails. Are you targeting one of the 2 remaining ballista gunners that can't accomplish anything, or are you targeting one of the people that's about one of the orcs that's about
The
to jump
ones
in
that
the
are
ship?
about to jump.
Okay. So this orc falls on the deck and begins laughing, despite his horrible flaming injury he just received. So that means he's disabled for the moment, and it is now their turn. These 10 remaining orcs charge forward into this wall of soldiers, and that means their first thing that happens is the readied actions go off. Oh, okay. So let's see here. I'm just counting up hits now. Alright, so there are 8 hits. Every single one of those 8 hits knocked out an orc.
Wow.
Because they had very few hit points left. That means there are basically 2 orcs left charging onto the deck that have not been knocked down. So this boarding attempt has not gone well. And they attack. And let's just... There's a very low... Nope, Astra, but one of them is not attacking you, and they can't attack the rest of you. One of them attacks one of the Marines. Another one attacks one of the Marines. All right, both Marines are hit. Both Marines are very badly injured, but not down. Athelflaed, it's your turn again. There are 2 orcs on your ship.
I try to hit him again with a crossbow.
Crossbow? Okay, it's a little tricky because of the crowd of people in front of you. So that means they're going to have a little bit of cover, which is going to give you a penalty. Half cover.
Isn't it a disadvantage on the roll?
Half cover has a +2 bonus to AC.
Wow.
So go ahead and make an attack roll.
8 + 7, 15.
It just barely misses. The orc is able to jump out of the way.
Okay. How far away am I again?
You are only 10 feet away from an
Oh,
orc.
okay.
You're firing at almost point blank range here.
Alright.
Tara, what do you want to do?
Would I be able to kind of tow my way into the line between or in the place of one of the injured soldiers?
Sure, you can muscle your way through.
Okay. So I go full Epilema
All right.
with a war pick and
Epilema.
just attack one of the orcs.
Okay.
I got a 9.
It does not hit.
I try again.
All right. The orc bats it aside with his great axe.
21.
All right, that is a hit.
10 damage.
And that orc goes down. There's 1 orc left. He looks really angry. And the captain will take a couple shots at this remaining orc from up on the helm's position at the back. And captain takes out this last orc. The other boat is starting to fall away, and the oars stick out from the southern side, the starboard side of the boat.
Is the one that's laughing dead? Or is
No,
it just-
he's still on the other boat.
So it's floating
Just,
away as he's
yeah,
laughing.
he's just laughing on the deck of the boat. Yeah, and the ballista crew on that other boat is kind of hiding behind the ballista. The two members that survived as your ship pulls away from theirs. Yeah, that's good that you were able to knock out so many so quickly, and that you also knocked away one of the boats, because otherwise you would have been under attack by 40 orcs. So you're able to pull away from these ships. The captain orders a continued full speed ahead as you speed toward arrival.
I want to keep taking pot shots at the boat as it falls away with my firebolt, just because I'm mad. And I'm trying to practice. It doesn't matter if they hit or not.
Right. Well, the war wizard, she's a little weird looking. She looks kind of like she's got kind of crazy, messy looking hair, and she's got dirty robes. And she says, "Hey, maybe don't be wasting those spells there. Right? I mean, you can do what you want, guy, but don't be wasting those spells there.
It's a cantrip.
It's a cantrip, but it still produces heat, and it's a bad use of spells. It's poor form."
All right. I'm new to all this.
Well, you're doing great. You're doing great, but you get some training. Talk to us about some training sometime. All right, we'll get you help.
Okay, sounds
You're
good.
doing great. All right, so as your ship, the Hareth, nears arrival and the sun begins to brighten in the morning, you can see these giant canvas sheets suspended over the city, flapping gently in the morning breeze. Some fishing boats are out, but they haven't ventured far from the docks, probably because of the blockade. And there are several long moles, those big, piles of rocks jutting out into the sea with towers at their ends. As you near these towers, you can see there are large ballistas on top of them. Captain Doniger says, "That was too close, so I'll have Eggers Grimmy send a message to the council letting them know about the blockade and the iron ships. Thank you for your assistance. It was invaluable. And I hope your visit and arrival is more pleasant than the journey was. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must see about some repairs."
See you later.
Yeah, I shake the captain's hand.
All right,
Walk
he's
away.
good job.
glad to shake your hand. The crew takes the injured Marines downstairs and starts helping you unload your cart and your horses.
Before I get off the ship, I have 2 spells left. Can I go ahead and use Cure Wounds on anyone that needs to be healed?
Yeah, there are these 2 injured Marines that are in pretty bad shape that you could help.
Okay.
If he does one, can I do the other one?
Sure. Yeah.
It's a healing word, so can I sing?
Yeah,
to
go ahead,
him?
roll. Oh, you want to sing? What are you gonna sing?
We are the champions, my friend. I don't know the rest of the words.
It's very inspiring. Very inspiring. Yes. He looks up at you. He looks up at you, clearly inspired until you hit that second line there, and then he looks a little disappointed.
I
That was a good start.
I look at him and I say, "Forgot your verbals, huh?"
Yeah.
All right, and how much do you heal?
So it'll be 1d4 plus 5. So he will heal 8 points.
All right, he's pretty much fine. Paxton?
I do 1 for 15.
Oh, wow. He's good as new, better than new. Yeah, he hops up from the ground. I feel great. Thanks.
That
Yeah.
was with the Guitar of the Bazaar, so I rolled a 16.
Oh, okay, great for your performance check. Great, it worked. So the crew helps you unload Bud and Bart, as well as the cart, and you attach Bud and Bart to the cart, and then you lead them down the dock and onto the quay. Most of the buildings here at the Northwest Port are warehouses, though there are also shops, inns, bars, and also a Smite and Bite seafood restaurant. A wide cobblestone road leads east into the city. Tara and Aster, you know that you're near the Western Market, with a large open square, and there's a prominent entrance to the Undercity at the Western Market, where most of the Drow and Duergar live. If you continue along that road, you will eventually reach the old square at the center of the city. It's a hub of banking and finance, but it is also the location of the Soul Jar, which stands in the middle of the square under guard. To the northeast of the old square is the Orniskiv, one of the oldest, most expensive residential districts. Tara, the Dane family home, is there. And then the southeast of the island, has another large port, and there are different areas of the island for various trades: textiles, dye makers, laundering, woodworking, ironworking, magic, gnomish tinkering, and so on. Where are you going?
I mentioned to them, well, I've done some business with the Smite and Bite. It's fine food. Really good food if you're hungry. It's a good place to go. Are you guys hungry?
I suppose I could eat something.
I'm always hungry.
All right, you're going to go to the Smite and Bite?
I just want to see what everybody who's there still.
Okay, well, this is a different location. The one from the previous episode was on the southeast corner of the island.
Okay, I still want to go.
Okay, all right, you go to this location of the Smite and Bite chain. All right, well, you walk up to the counter, and it's morning, so they're serving breakfast. There's a person dressed in a squire's outfit taking people to their tables, and he looks at you with a big, pretty obviously forced smile, and he says, "Welcome to the Smite and Bite, where every day you have a great meal and we treat you like a knight. Are you here for breakfast?"
Obviously.
All right. I'll see you to your table. Follow me.
Okay.
Thank you, fine gentleman.
He leads you to a table. Tara, is Tara a fan of Smite and Bite? It's kind of a lowish end restaurant.
She really likes the shrimp po' boy, but she doesn't know that they have that for breakfast.
Oh, yeah, they probably don't, but they have some biscuits.
I mentioned, guys, if you're really hungry, the fish eggs. Those are really good.
The fish eggs?
Yes.
Tara thinks Aster is a really weird Smite and Bite enthusiast.
It's his hidden guilt.
All right. Well, he leads you to a table. Pimply-faced teenager comes up to you, looking kind of sleepy. He pulls out a scroll, and he says, "Hi, I'm Jan. I'm here to take your order. What can I get you this morning?"
My friend over here says that your fish eggs are pretty good.
Yeah, you want the caviar?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Anything else?
Biscuits and shrimp gravy.
Oh, okay. Biscuits and shrimp gravy.
Can I get some mead, fine gentleman?
Of course, you can have some meat.
I want biscuits, and I want to top those biscuits with more biscuit.
Biscuits with biscuits. The biscuit squared meal coming up.
She's carbo loading.
All right. You don't even have to justify it to me, sir.
We don't judge at the Smite and Bite.
That's right. At the Smite and Bite, we treat you right. We don't judge at the Smite and Bite. If you want sausage with sausage or gravy with gravy, that's fine with us.
Can I get fish eggs with fish eggs?
Yes, of course.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so he runs off with your order. And, oh, wait. What do you got? What do you want to drink? You want mead? Anybody want anything else?
I'll have an ale.
An ale? Orange juice, anyone?
Juice.
Juice.
I'll take an arrow.
All right. So he runs off, comes back a little while later with your order. The restaurant's not very busy. There are a few sailors here. The food's okay. Let's see how good the chef does. It's okay. It's not great. The fish eggs are pretty good, but everything else is okay.
I ask our waiter if he knows anything about the Iron Empire.
Yeah, that's terrible. I heard they're all over the outside of the island. I mean, we can't see them real well from here, but we can see there's the smoke and everything. It's kind of scary.
How long have they been here?
Oh, just a couple days, a day and a half maybe. Yeah, it's a little scary.
Since I know Aster is such a fan of the fish eggs, I give my second fish eggs to Aster.
It's very generous of you.
Yeah, because I don't think I want to eat 2 bowls of fish eggs.
I will take them gladly. Oh, Papa Gaston, and then I eat them.
All right. Yeah, he'll fill you in. The ships arrived about a day and a half ago, and they've been blockading the island, attacking and taking any ship that tries to leave. They haven't done anything more than that, though. They're just keeping people on the island.
And what has Arrival been doing in response to
They
this?
haven't decided yet. The council of the various noble families hasn't decided what to do yet. They're still pondering. They are in communication, of course, with the other primary nations, and they're not quite sure. Of course, as you know, the Iron Empire occupied Arrival about 70 years ago and was eventually driven away. They haven't returned, and they don't seem to be invading now. They just seem to be keeping Arrival's ships where they are. But this can only last so long because Arrival is not fully independent when it comes to food. At some point, they will have to have ships coming in or out. When things start to get bad, they will probably have to fight their way through the blockade. You finish your breakfast, it's not bad. It's filling enough. Biscuits are filling for now, but you're pretty sure you're going to be hungry again in a little while. You take some with you, though.
I stuff them in my pocket.
Okay. All right.
Does the army that came with us, they're from Arrival soldiers?
They are Magistracy soldiers. They have a couple low-level wizards and a high-level wizard for the ship. They're here to help reinforce whatever forces Arrival already has. Tara, you know, and Aster, you know Arrival doesn't have much of a military. They have a decent navy, but they don't have a really strong military force.
We're by ourselves now at the table. The guy left. He's gone.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's the plan, adventurers?
I say we walk by the square because we need to go by the square anyway to take our quickest path to my folks' house. And then we'll make some further plans.
Do we scout?
That's why we're walking by the square.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know.
And the square's where the SJ is, right?
It is.
Now we have Magistry soldiers, we have a rival's navy, and we have the Iron Empire all in a rival. What happens when SJ goes down?
How fast can you run?
I'll just
Well,
turn invisible.
I don't know. Maybe it'll scare the Iron Empire away. Maybe it'll scare everyone away. Let's just hope it goes good.
So you finish up your breakfast and you get your cart ready again, and I guess you start to head down the road. As you pull away from the docks, several groups of people approach you all at the same time, and each group is wearing a different color uniform. They're similar in style with minor variations. And a woman in a red uniform calls out to you first, and she says, "Welcome to Arrival. You'll be wanting protection, insurance, and legal services from Red Loyalty while you're here. The rates are reasonable for the quality we offer. 2 gold per week is the starting rate."
We're great, thanks.
And then an orc says, No. He's wearing a yellow tunic, and he says, "You could go with them, but you probably don't need all those bells and whistles. You look like you can take care of yourselves, too. So you want to go with Yellow Insurance Group? We offer just the basics, insurance and legal services. 3 silver per week for your whole group is the starting rate. What do you say? Should I start the paperwork?"
We're great, thanks.
And then at the same time, they're all ignoring you. These groups of people wearing green and purple sort of jump in with their own offers. Tara and Aster, you know that these are the private protection agencies that can be hired here. They offer protection against crime, insurance against injury, and they provide a connection to the legal system. It's not a racket or a scheme. It's part of the unusual way that the legal system works here, but you don't need any of these services, Tara, because you're already part of the Dane business group, and it should cover your friends as well. And Aster, when you lived in Arrival, you tended to go with whichever group was the cheapest, which was often the group known as Underlaw Incorporated, and the benefits offered by Tara's family plan are probably better.
I'm urging Bud and Bart ahead.
All right. Well, they all say, "Well, we hope you have a good day. Remember, you can go with..." And then they all, mention their group's name. You continue down the road. Where are you heading first? So I mentioned there's nearby things. There's the Western Market, which is relatively nearby, which has an entrance to the Undercity. There's the Old Square in the very center of the city, and then from there you can take a road up to the Old Square. Are you heading to the Soul Jar first?
I say we were going to the square on our way to the old neighborhood.
Okay, great. All right, so first you pass the Western Market, and there's plenty of business going on here. Lots of people have set up stalls, or people bringing goods in and taking goods out. It's a busy day. Tara, it looks pretty normal to you.
Okay.
I mean, even though the city's under a blockade, it looks pretty much like a normal day. As you approach the Old Square, however, downtown, the traffic begins to thin out. Most of the people walking around here, and by the way, everyone's walking under these giant tarps, these canvas tarps that cover the entire city. A whole sequence of them, a whole series of them, they're all over the place, held up by these huge stone pillars. Most of the people walking around here are either bankers or people with financial business or tourists visiting the area. You pass a group of school children who are finishing up a field trip. Everyone looks surprisingly calm, considering there's a blockade around the island. The Soul Jar can be seen towering above everyone. It is 40 feet high. Its thick glass walls are capped on top and bottom with stone, and there are ruins that have never been deciphered, glowing dimly on the stone. The contents are a solid dark gray. Only occasional wispy movement suggests there is anything other than gray liquid inside.
I pull out that 2-part locket and
Okay.
snap it together and see if it points at the Soul Jar.
It points dimly toward you, and then it points, it has like 2 very dim beams, one pointing to the west and one pointing to the east. So there are 2 little dim lights pointing in both directions, and then another dim light is just pointing at you.
So if I remember correctly, it's pointing towards sources of like clerical or divine power.
Yep.
So I think that it's still pointing to myself and the eastern and western bubble.
Yeah, but dimly toward them. But as you approach the square, the 2 dim lights pointing to the east and the west fade away, and another light fades in, pointing toward somewhere around the Soul Jar. Not directly at the Soul Jar, but a little bit south of it, maybe. It's very similar to the light that is pointing toward you. And so as you approach, you can see there are several men standing guard around this jar. Tara and Aster, you know that this is a position that is important but also ceremonial. Usually the jar is guarded by soldiers paid for by charitable contributions, but it is also sometimes protected by people who have been given the right to protect it as an honor or as a recognition of achievement or accomplishment. And that is the case right now, as it is currently being guarded by someone that Terra recognizes. And Paxton Athelflaed, you've actually briefly met them before. Terra, as you walk up to this jar, I don't know how you're approaching, but you can see that standing proudly next to this jar, along with his handsome band, is your good friend Medu Siwa, the other merchant family fellow with his beautiful mane of hair. And he's standing proud next to the soul jar.
Hey, Tara, it's your friend.
Yeah, Athelflaed.